I've said it before, I'm done with Glock. But when things get ugly, I still grab one. Look, they're not pretty or flashy, but they work, genuinely, when nothing else does. Now some of you argue with me, Glock already failed, but never mind, that's a different video. You better leave the video now, I won't tell you again. And that's why we're here. These 7 Glock pistols, they're the ones that never let me down. Rain, dirt, rental ranges, matches, panic grabs off the nightstand, they just work smoothly. And again, I'm not a Glock lover, but this video is for those who love Glock, own a Glock, or want to have one someday. So if you're tired of the hype and fake gun reviews, or want a Glock that just plain works, I've got you. Let's kick it off with the Glock that earned my trust back the hard way. I'll admit, the Glock 47 pissed me off before I ever touched it. Not because it was bad, but because it felt like Glock just duct taped a bunch of old parts together and called it modular. Like, come on, man. A G17 frame with a G19 slide? We're already building that Frankenstein setup at home. But then, I actually shot the damn thing, and man, it made me shut up real fast. This thing just feels right in the hand. Full grip control like the Glock 17, with that shorter slide up front. It balances faster on target. I found myself getting follow-up shots quicker, especially when I ran drills from concealment with a duty holster. I didn't expect it to matter, but it did. One of my buddies, Border Patrol out of El Paso, said it's the only Glock he trusts straight out of the box without adding a single part. No sights, no trigger jumps, just throw ammo in and go. He's got 5,000 rounds through his, still hasn't cleaned it, and still runs like a sewing machine. That's what makes the Glock 47 dangerous. Not flashy, not viral, just better where it counts. And if you're smart, you'll never notice it in the case, which means you've got a shot at finding one before the tactical crowd figures it out. Modular my ass. This thing's just built different, and now, every time I reach for a full-size Glock, I'm second-guessing my old favorites. I've fought this one for a long time. I mean, just look at it. Slim frame, short barrel, low capacity compared to the rest of the lineup. The Glock 43X always felt like something you compromise with, not carry by choice. Like one of those my wife's EDC guns. Nothing wrong with that. Just not something I wanted riding on my hip. But here's what happened. I started leaving my full size at home. Day after day, reaching for something small. Quick grocery runs, random walks, late night fuel stops, and guess what I kept picking up? That damn 43X. It disappears in a t-shirt, it draws fast, and this shocked me, it shoots better than I expected. The grip is just long enough to keep my pinky happy, the slim profile hides better than my 19 ever did, and it runs like every other Glock I've ever trusted. I've got a buddy up in Wichita Falls, runs a pawn shop there, carries the 43X every day, appendix carry, and loaded with Shield Arms 15-round mags. Says it's the only pistol that's ever made him switch from revolvers, and that means something. Now look, the 43X ain't pretty. It's not tactical, and no, it won't be your next range hero, but when you need a Glock that just fits into your life without making noise, this one sneaks its way in and stays there. I didn't want to like it, but here I am. You ever get so used to something, you start hating it? That's where I landed with the Glock 19. I've carried it for years, Gen 3, Gen 4, and Gen 5. Thousands of rounds, dozens of holsters, probably half of my lifetime with one on my hip. And after a while, I just got tired of it. Tired of the blocky feel, tired of the basic trigger, tired of every damn YouTuber calling it the standard. Like we're all just supposed to bow down to this chunky little pistol like it's untouchable. So I tried to replace it. PDP, P320, Canic, CZ, you name it, and every single time, something was just off. Too heavy, too weird, too pretty honestly. Then I went back to the 19 Gen 5, threw it in my belt like I used to, and within 5 minutes, I remembered why I trusted it in the first place. The size is perfect, small enough to carry, big enough to fight. The grip texture is just enough without being cheese grater aggressive. The slide cycles like a sewing machine, and the Gen 5 trigger, it's actually not bad once you break it in. My cousin, Dallas County Deputy, still runs a 19 Gen 5 off-duty, says he's tried switching, but nothing shoots as naturally for him, and now I get it. It's not hype, it's not even about history, this thing just works. I don't love it anymore, but I can't walk away from it either, and maybe that says more about how good it is than I ever care to admit. This one's got some history, and for a while, I wanted nothing to do with it. The Glock 22 was the police pistol for a long time. 40 S&W, full size, built for war zones in American streets, and I'll be honest, back in the early 2000s, I thought it was cool just because cops carried it, until I actually owned one. Recoil felt snappy, muzzle flip was wild, and the 40, loud, sharp, and unforgiving. I sold mine in 2011 for barely $300 and swore I was done with that caliber. Fast forward to 2025, and guess what I've got back in my safe? An old Gen 3 Glock 22 with some holster wear, a fresh recoil spring, and about 1,000 rounds of 40 in a dusty ammo can. And this time, I see it differently. It's not a soft shooter, and it ain't even slick, but it's got that energy that says, I dare you. Shoots hard, cycles strong, and you start realizing this thing was made for real-world chaos, not Instagram drills. I picked this used Gen 3 up for around $330, and for what it's worth, that's ridiculous value. Steel sights, night-ready frame, no nonsense grip. It's not trendy, it's trusted. My buddy in Houston still carries his old G22 daily, OWB, jacket weather, full mag of HSTs. Says it's the only gun he's ever drawn in a real emergency, and it fired like it was bored. So yep, I dumped the 22 once, thought I outgrew it, but now I think I just finally understood it. And once you do, you never forget how it feels to carry something that hits back. You don't say much, and maybe that's why I keep you around. There's no red dot, no extended slide release, no rail, no flash, no nothing. Just 6 rounds of 9mm and a frame barely bigger than my hand. I've carried guns with twice the capacity and half the reliability. Guns with better triggers, cooler colors, and fancy grip modules, and every time I came back to this one, it just worked. You're not a show-off, you don't care about being impressive, but when it's hot, when it's fast, when it's real, you're always ready. I've worn you under a dress shirt at weddings, in a glove box crossing state lines, deep in a hoodie pocket walking through South Dallas at 2 a.m. Never once did you print, never once did you fail. Some say 6 rounds ain't enough. I say if I need more than 6, I shouldn't be standing there in the first place. This isn't the Glock you flex at the range, this is the one you pray is there when your hands are shaking and you're moving fast. You don't get compliments, but you get the job done. And in a world full of pistols that are trying to do everything, you remind me that doing one thing well is enough. I've tried to walk away from this gun more times than I even care to admit. Ran a full-size SIG for a while. Too chunky, never pointed clean. Gave Walther a shot, smooth trigger, felt great, but somehow felt like borrowing a stranger's pistol. Even flirted with a CZ Shadow. Love the weight, love the steel, but not for carry. Not when it's hot out, not when I'm sweaty, and I just need something that won't flinch. And every single time, I crawl back to the Glock 17 Gen 5 like it's holding my money. It's not perfect, but it's never failed me. That full-size grip just melts into your hand. The recoil's predictable, soft, and honest. It runs dirty, eats trash ammo, and doesn't care if you haven't touched it in weeks. You just pull it, aim it, and it gets the job done. I've tossed it in the back seat, shot it half looped, used it in wind, mud, and cold, and never once did it give me any lip. It's not hype, it's just history. There are guns that I admire, guns I train with, guns I talk about, but this is the Glock I'd carry if everything went to hell tomorrow. And if I had to bet everything on just one handgun, it's the 17 Gen 5. No hesitation, no second guessing. It's the Glock that earned my trust and never gave it back. Rocky, bring me the beast. That's what I said the first time I held the Glock 20 Gen 5, and I wasn't joking. This thing is a damn monster. It doesn't ask if you're ready, it dares you to try. 10mm isn't some gimmick round. It hits like a truck, kicks like a mule, and if you're not gripping it right, it'll let you know real quick. This isn't a gun you carry because it's comfortable. You carry it because something out there might try to kill you and you want to shoot back with authority. I've seen this thing drop hogs in one shot. I've watched it punch through barriers like they weren't there. I've heard the boom of it in a steel bay and seen grown men step back like they weren't ready for what just happened. And the Gen 5 version, it just made the beast leaner and meaner. The grip angle smoother, the recoil impulse is flatter, and the slide cycles like it's had enough of your weak-ass range ammo. This isn't your range toy, this isn't your appendix carry, this is what you strap to your chest when you're out in bare country with no cell signal and you're not sure if the night's gonna end with a campfire or a body count. If you've never shot 10mm in a Glock 20, let me give you one piece of advice. Don't flinch, it smells fear. This is the one they all begged for, and Glock told us no for years. Full-size grip, compact slide, Coyote tan finish, military trial DNA, everything the internet kept asking for wrapped into one chunky, weird, and badass hybrid. And when they finally dropped it, everyone lost their damn minds. It wasn't perfect, the color was divisive, the mag stuck out, and it didn't make tactical sense for most folks, but none of that mattered, because the 19X feels like it was built for the guy who's tired of Glock playing it safe. It's beefy, loud, and confident. It doesn't try to fit in, and that's exactly why people still talk about it like it's some kind of legend. You don't buy the 19X to be efficient, you buy it because something about it won't leave your head. So yeah, Glock's boring, blocky, bland, and overpriced. Yes, we've heard it all. But when things actually go sideways, you don't reach for cool, you reach for what really works. And the truth is, these 7 pistols don't just work, they never quit on you. Beat 'em up, drag 'em through the dirt, feed 'em junk ammo. They'll still outlive half the gear in your safe. You can clown on Glock all you want. Hell, I've done it myself even. But when it's time to pick one handgun and walk out the door, you already know which brand most folks trust. Glock didn't stay on top by being fancy. They stayed on top by never letting people down. And if that's not worth saying something about in 2025, I don't know what is. This has been Steve, so stay sharp, shoot smart, and carry what won't fail you.